Welcome. In this session, we are going to see into security area. Let's explore security area. So on the left side, control panel, and the down, like you can see security tab. Under that, we have users, roles, authorization overview, and activities. So we can see how to create a user and how to provide some roles to that user, and we can log into that with that user into Datasphere and see how, like, what kind of accesses he has. Let's see all this in this session. So if you remember in the last session, data access control, I had created one user and I have shown you how we can provide row level security. So now I have deleted that user. So I want to show you, like, from beginning how to create a user. So let's go to security, click on users. You can see here currently I have only one user, that's my user ID. You can see this is my email. If I go to here settings, you can see this is the user. So I have all the, here I can see my user ID, first name, last name, display name, and email. Like I can assign some managers here and the roles, what kind of roles I have actually. Actually, I am a system owner, and initially when I got the access, I have system owner access. Later, I have assigned some scope roles. After that, I was able to see this app section, like data builder, business builder, other options. So, and I can also show you like what kind of roles I have. If you go to authorization overview, so this is my user ID. Like these are all the roles I have. Like I am a system owner, and then I have added my, like, scoped roles also to my user ID, so that I have complete access. That's right. And here, if you want to check in authorization overview, you can check by, like, by filtering, by selecting show all filters. You can filter by user ID so that you can see for that particular user what kind of access you have, and a role by like if you want to see by specific roles, you can see. So you can like filter on different options. Now let's go back to row users. Let's create one user and see how we can create. So just click on add. Here you can enter some user ID. Let's give just ng. I'll give my first name as ng and last name as p. And display name, I want to show it as, and I need to provide some user email ID. Like let's provide, I have on one user email ID. Let's give that, and I can assign some manager to him. So I'll select I am the manager to this user, and I can provide the roles from here. You can see here we have individual roles, individual standard roles, and also scoped roles. I can see catalog administrator, catalog user, administrator, consumer, integrator, modeler. These are all individual roles. And then below, these are scoped consumer, and then again some individual roles. So whatever you are seeing here, the same things are available under the roles. I'll show you that. If you go into roles, you will see those things. Let's save this user for now. I will assign the roles. Either I can assign here or I can go and assign from the role section. So, okay, now I have saved this user. So let's select the user, and here you have different options. Let's first send him an email. So resend the invitation email. I click this one. You're going to resend user invitation email, including first time login credentials to user that you selected. Do you want to continue? Just send it. Okay. Now, before going further, there are different options here. Like suppose uh, if I want to create a user, I can click on this plus symbol and the next button, let's select this one. So some are enabled. Suppose you can see here, deactivate user. If you want to deactivate the user, that means, it will not be deleted, but it is deactivated and user will not be able to log in this one. Like suppose you have deactivated user, if you want to reactivate it again, you have this option here. You can activate the user again. If you want to permanently delete, you can delete that user from here. Just refresh button. This is for saving. This is I just send on email to this user, and this is like assign system owner. If you want to assign this user as system owner, and then import user, you can import from file or import user from Active Directory also. And then you have export. If you want to export, I think it is already exported. So let's see that. Yeah, you will get these kind of details, I think. Let's close that. And if you want to filter active user, deactivated users, you can do that. Okay. These are the different options available. Now let's, okay, I have sent and I have opened my email. I think somewhere. Let's refresh. Yeah, here you can see I got one email. Okay, let's click that and open. Here I got this email. What I'll do is I'll copy this URL and I'll open this. This is my incognito window. I don't want to open in the same because I already logged in there. Let's open this in incognito mode and let's try to log in. And let's say I go back to my email. I did not get any password, but I'm giving my own password now, like whatever I want to. So it's saying it seems your profile is not configured for this system. Please contact your system administrator or end this session. Let's end this session and go back to our security and users. Let's assign some roles to this user. For example, like go to roles. So under the role sections, you can see some SAP given standard roles like catalog administrator. If you keep the cursor, you can see full privileges, catalog user. These are for catalog, you can see here. And that DW administrator. If you give this role, you will get complete access, like how I'm seeing now the system administrator security connections. So if you provide this administrator access, you will get complete. And consumer, integrator, modeler, if you want to, like build objects, viewer, only you can see support user, like support access will be there, and space administrator for the space related activities. And below you have some scope roles. So there are 6 scope roles, like scope consumer, scope integrator, modeler, uh, data warehouse scope, space administrator, support users, scope viewer. So here you can see there is one scope, one user for all, because we have created one space. If you go to space management, we have created one space, and that space we have assigned to this scoped roles. And then inside that again, I have assigned my user. Let's go inside this scopes. You see, I have already my space. And if I go to users, this system ID is where I have added. Okay. Now let's explore more about what these roles. Let's do one thing. Let's go inside this DW modeler role. So when it is open, you see like this. Here you can see this is a DW modeler, and there are some privilege types here, and what kind of access you can give to them. Privilege type, these are privilege types, and these are the permissions. Okay, so this is a modeler. So these privilege types are nothing but some or other activity in the data sphere. Like when you create like spaces, you can create spaces, right? So if you if you have this modeler role, you can see here the create is disabled. You cannot create. Then you can read that space. You cannot update. You cannot delete that space. So you'll have these kind of accesses. For example, you see the translation, there is something called translation. He can only read that. He cannot create, update, delete anything. And you see these are all disabled for the modelers. And if you go here, uh, authorization scenario, you can create, read, update, delete. Business builder, he can create the objects there, catalog, entity, uh, consumption model. He has access to create, read, update, delete for all these things. And warehouse consumption, he can read general. There are different privileges. So based on the permissions, when you assign this role to user, that user will be able to see and do these activities according to this role. And let's try, you see some of the options are enabled to check. Let's say uh, activity log, I want to enable to read for this modeler. I clicked on this. Let's try to save this. You see save option is disabled. I cannot save this. Let's go back. Install modeler. So I want to activate, right? Activity log. You see, save is already disabled. Like let's say when I select activity log, it has to allow me to save, but it is not because this is a standard role which you cannot modify. So what it is giving is save as. When you click on save as, you see the role cannot be modified because it is standard SAP Analytics Cloud role. Provide a name to save your customization as a new role. So you can modify them and you can create as a custom role. So as per your project requirements, if you want to create some custom roles, either you can you can come to some standard role and you can modify as per your requirement. You can save that as a custom role and you can assign that custom role to user. Or if you don't want to copy something, let's go back. I don't want to save now. Let's go back to roles. Discard this. Here you have option to create a new custom role. Let's say give some ds underscore custom role. License type is same, create. You see it's giving a template like a pop-up saying select a role template. You see these are all the standard roles which you have seen in the role section, like database, data warehouse, sorry, Datasphere viewer, support user, space administrator, consumer, modeler, integrator. Either you can select any one of them so that the privileges and permissions they will come as it is with like check boxes and all. But if you want to create complete blank, select this, click on OK. See, I'm in now custom role. You see everything is enabled for me and there is no check box selected at all. So this is completely blank. You are not copying from some standard rule. So you have to decide based on your requirement. So that's how you create a custom role. Okay, let's go back. I don't want to save anything now. Now, like this is how based on the different roles, like suppose if I go to space administrator, for example, you can see here for space administrator, let's take privilege type space. What he can do is he cannot create space. He can read space, he can update space, he can delete space, and he cannot manage. Now let's go back to this space administrator. Let's go back and see space like administrator. It says full privileges. Let's go and check the same privilege type here. Here you can see for space administrator, he was not able to create, but he can, the administrator can create, and these three are common for both of them. But for administrator, we like he can create the space, he can manage the space. But whereas for space administrator, he can read, update, and delete. So there are different roles based on the role type. And this is about roles and how to create a custom role. Now come down to scope roles area, where when you create any space in data sphere, and if you want to assign some users to that space, and as a prerequisite, that space must be assigned to some of the scope roles. That's why you see I have assigned my scope. Let's go inside one of the scope roles, and what is there inside this? What is the difference between the actual roles and the scope roles? Once it is open, if you see here, this is data where like Datasphere scope role. If you click on the information, you see permissions that are grayed out and disabled. Like permissions that are grayed out and disabled are from inherited roles. To modify these permissions, you must modify the parent role. So in this, you see everything is grayed out. Like you cannot modify anything because this is a scope modeler role which is coming from the parent standard role. You see, when you go back, these are the like roles, standard roles from, for example, DW modeler. From here, this scope modeler is copied. Like whatever you see the checkboxes, you will see the same here. You can check that. So, but here I cannot modify anything. Suppose if I want to modify, you see here, to modify these permissions, you must modify the parent role. But standard roles we cannot modify. It's saying you have to modify the parent role, which is my DW modeler, but I cannot modify that. You have to create a custom role, and then you can create a custom scoped role also. When you click on this, let's say DS first underscore role, scope role. You are about to create a scope role to make it available only to selected scopes. Let's click on this. So it's asking me to select. Again, select role template. I think if I have a custom role, that also comes. So you have to create custom role or custom scope roles from the standard roles which you created and other custom roles like that. You cannot modify these things. Okay. I hope you understand this. So now but I'm not able to log in with my other user. I'm getting, it's not configured. Let's do one thing. Let's assign a role to that user. And before that, before assigning, yeah, let's assign first one role, like let's say data warehouse modeler. I go inside this, I will go to users. This is the user I created. Let's click updated assigned user. It's already saved. Let's go back to roles. You see one user is there. Now let's go back to my other section where I opened it incognito. Let's try to log in again. Okay, now I'm able to log in, see, and you can see my display name is Anji.p. And let's expand the control panel. Here I can see I don't have many accesses, like I don't see security administration and data builder, space management. I don't have anything here. Because though I have assigned as a model, I don't have any accesses. So let's do one thing. Let's again delete this user. I'll remove this role and saved. Let's go back to roles and I will log out from this user, new user, and I will go back to my main session here. Let's create a space first. We already have a space. Now let's create a space. Like I will give my name as, let's say, second space, for example. Space is created. Okay, I don't want to change anything. I don't want to add any users. It's I think already deployed. You can see here. Let's go back to spaces. Yeah, here you can see my second space is created. There are 0 users. You can see in my first space, I have added my current user ID, and here I don't have anything. And also suppose when you want to delete, you can select, you can edit, delete, lock, all these things are there. Suppose if you have deleted, um, it will be shown in like recycle bin. I think you will get, yeah, you can see here once it is deleted, it will come into recycle bin. I think you can restore. You can restore that from here. And from recycle bin also, if you want to delete permanently, you can delete that here. Okay, let's go back to spaces. Now what I do is, if you remember, like once the space is created, if I want to add some users to this space, like under the user assignment, if I click on this add, it will show the how many. Now you see 2 are there. Suppose I want to add my second, like newly created user to this space, click this, you click next, it will give this message. I think I have shown this in my like earlier sections when we were talking about the space management. The space is not added to any scoped roles, which we have seen some time back. To be able to add users to the space, it must first add it one or more scoped roles. So first we have to assign this space to a scoped role. Let's go back to security roles. Below, these are the scoped roles. You have to assign that space first to any one of these. Let's do one thing. Let's go inside the space modeler. Let's add my space, which is the second space, to this scoped role. Click on scope. Here you can see I have already one space assigned to this scope role. I also want to assign my newly created space. Click on save. Go back to roles. Now you see I have 2 spaces assigned to this role. So if I add, like, as you have seen, this the scope role contains all the privileges here and permission types as standard role. So if I add user to this role. Currently, you see there are two spaces, and if I select demo1, I have my user is added to this space. And let's see for second space. So the user is already added. My current user is already added to this space also. I don't want this user for this space. Let's delete this user from second space. Okay. Now I go back and come again. If I go to users, okay, here you can see there is only one user assigned to DS demo space. Now here you have option like uh, add new users to scopes. If you click that, it will give okay. Add all the available users. I want to add my newly created user. Click on next. To which space you want to add? I want to add this to my newly created space. Okay, so unselect the DS demo. Next, click on save. Now I can see here two users. Suppose if I select DS demo, one user is assigned to that. Remove that. If I select second space, my newly created user is assigned to this. Okay, and you can like show all filters, like you can apply based on role or scope ID. Suppose if you want to select second space, it will show you, okay, second space, what are the users. Here you can see username, scope name, and you can modify the filters now. Okay, now let's go back to roles. So what we did is we created a new space and we assigned that space to a scoped modeler, and we have assigned newly created user. So when you assign that space to this scoped modeler and a user, so that user should get whatever the accesses are there in this, whatever the privileges and permissions are there in this role. Okay. So now let's go back and log in. And one more thing before that, let's go back to space management and let's go into, we are in our second space. If you come down, you see I have added this space to my scope role and user. So here I'm getting this. Here you can see this is not he is not a space administrator. We have not given that role to him. Okay. So now if you want to add like one more user, like current user, I have right, I can add that, but let's not do that because I want to show you some differences. So now let's jump back to like other incognito mode I have opened session. So let's log in with my new user now. Now what changes will be there, we'll see. Enter. Okay, now we are in. Let's expand this control panel. You can see here, I got the access to like a business builder, data builder, integration monitor, connections. And below, you see, I don't have access to security and admin part, but I have access to space management. And you see here, I'm able to see only one space. If I go back to my other user, if I go to space management, go to space management, here I'm able to see like complete both the spaces, but this user is able to see only one space where he is assigned. If you remember, even my current user also I have assigned to only DS demo space. I have not assigned to him second space, this current user, like where we have all the accesses. Because I'm a system owner and I have other privileges, I think that's why I'm able to see both the spaces. But whereas this guy, we have only assigned this user to one space. That's why he's able to see this one. Let's go inside and see. Here you can see he doesn't have many accesses like users. He cannot see under this data consumption or workload management. He can see, but data like user management he is not able to see. Only database users, all these things. So we have given some limited access to him, and that's how this works, like space management. So you can assign only spaces to some particular scope roles so that only those related access will come. So let's do one thing here. Let's check whether he will be able to, because he's a modeler, right? We have assigned to this scope modeler. Let's check whether he'll be able to access, like he'll be able to create. You see, I think he is able to create some tables. Let's do one thing. Let's create a table here. Uh, okay, and one more thing. When you come to data builder, let's discard this now. When you come to data builder, you see he is not able to see anything. But if you remember, in this system, we have created many tables, views, analytical model, data access control, all other things, right? Let's go back to original system. Let's go back to data builder. Okay, here you can see under all we have like two folders and time related tables. All these things are there. But this guy, the new user, is not able to see anything. That's because when you see here, whatever we have created under space DS demo. You see here, these are all belongs to demo space. But the new user, he has only access to second space. Go to space management, go to user assignment. So this guy, this is this user, current user. Sorry, we are in, that's why we whatever we created in this, all went under ds underscore demo. Suppose if he has access to both spaces, like two spaces, when you create some object, it will ask you to choose under which space you want to create. But since we had only one, since we had only one space access for this user, so whatever we created, they were like by default going into ds underscore demo. But in this second space, you see, we don't have this current user. That's why, nothing is created. And and if you remember, we have not created anything under second space. This is new one. And we have given access to the new user for the second space. That's why when uh, he logged in, let me switch. So when he logged in, he is not able to see anything. And let's create some table here. You see, when we are in data builder itself, like let me go back to data builder. It says second space by default. So let's create a table. Let's name it as some text table. And let's go to columns, add two columns, make it as key. I want to keep it as it is. Let's save. And deploy it. Let's wait for the deployment to complete. Let's go back to data builder. Here you can see table is created under space, second space. Now if I go back to my main system and go to data builder, let's go to data builder. Let me refresh it. So if I come to data builder, I will not be able to see that test table because it's created under second space and this user doesn't have access to second space. Similarly, that user, the new user doesn't have access to ds underscore demo. So now go back to the new user. So I want to like create a new like graphical view. Let's click on graphical view. Uh, Here you can see under repository, I'm only getting test table. I don't have any other uh, like tables like which we created in DS demo space. Suppose I want to access one of the table from DS underscore demo space. Since I don't have access for this user to that space, what we can do is let's switch to the main user. And what we can do, let's go into our folder where we are working and let's go inside this table. Let's take sales manager, which is having less data. Here we have seen different options like save, deploy, view, edit, export, upload, hierarchies, deletion of data, all these things. We have not seen this share. Like just click on share and you will get share table, sales manager, add others. So you can share some tables or views to other spaces also. So what you can see here, it's read access only. Add spaces. You have to select to which space you want to add. Here, I have only one other space, second space apart from DSDM. So I'm getting this. Let's select. Currently, it is not saved. Click on share. So now it's shared to this sales manager table is saved to other space, which is second space. Now close it and let's go back to our new user and let's refresh it or reload it. So yeah, here you can see now I'm able to see sales manager in my second space since I have saved that table with this space. So let's do one thing. Let's drag this to canvas. Click on this to adjust. Let's click on output node. I want to see the data. Click on data viewer. See here I'm able to see the data of sales manager because it is saved. I think it's view only. So that's how you can share tables or views across different spaces. And let's go back to data builder. Discard the changes. See here I'm able to see that table here. Okay, but I cannot view data here. You have to consume that in your view and see the data like we have seen just before. So that's how you now let me switch back to my main account. So let's go to, so yeah, we have seen so far how to create a user and how to assign like roles to him, and based on what role, like he'll get like different kinds of views with accesses. And we also seen what are the privilege types available and the permissions, like how to create a custom role by copying some standard role or a blank. You can copy a blank template and you can customize as per your requirement. Again, the scope roles are basically derived from their standard roles and you cannot modify them. If you want to modify, you create a custom role with your own, you know, requirements, and then you can create a custom, like create a new custom scope role also. After that, we have seen how to create a space, one new space, and assign that space to our data modeler role, and then added one user. And we have added with, we have logged in with that user, and where he has only access to that space, second space. And we have seen like how to share tables or views from one space to other space, and how to consume those tables in the other space and create views and check the data. So there are two more in this security. Let's go to authorization overview. So here it shows, okay, basically like how many users are there. Let's select this user and what kind of roles he has access. And let's select my newly created user. You see, he has only data warehouse cloud modeler, basically Datasphere modeler. And also like spaces, you can see when you click on space, it shows how many users are there under this scope and what roles he has. Let's select the second space. You can see the users available under this space and what role he has. So these things are there. I think you can explore by selecting all like different kind of filters. You can also define conditions, like so if you want to see users like starting with or equal to or begin with end with scope name also, like you can filter based on directly scope name, or if you have multiple, like if you want to check with begin what scopes are begin with like D, then D star or something like that, you can explore here. That's what you can see under uh, you can sort it here. Let's go to here and see. Yeah, you can select which columns you want to see. And these are all under authorization. Let's go to activities and see what is there under activities. So yeah, here you can see, uh, let's refresh this. You can see these are the timestamp, latest timestamps, what access we did. I think we have some done some activity read and login, user ID login, we logged in. What we did is we shared this file. I think this I did previously, unshare, I think. So these are the logs, basically what activities you did. So these are the activity log, and I think you can filter based on the activity description, file name, status, or username. And you can, I think download options are there. When you want to download these activity log from like suppose particular day to particular day, you can do that. And if you want to delete, let's go to delete options. If you want to delete all the activities are older than a day, a week, older than 1 month, older than 3 months, specific range, you can give range. So these are the different options available. So that's about security. Like if you get this complete access, like in the free trial, when you activate through BTP, you can explore this security, because with the free plan and advanced trial, you will not get these options like to explore. These are, I think, grayed out in that advanced trial version. in the free plan, you'll not be say, you'll not be able to see security at all. So yeah, that's about security area. You can go and explore more things. And I want to show you one more thing. Like there is one uh, course like Introduction to SAP Datasphere Administration. This one. So if you search this, it will come. I think here you can explore, like get to know the Datasphere interface, manage profiles, like assign users and roles, which we have seen, create custom user roles in Datasphere, create and monitor space. And so it's a course for basically admin related activities. You can check this out. I'll give this link in the course description. You can check this out. Okay. Uh, yeah, I hope you got to know what is there in the security and how to create users, assign roles, create custom scope roles. And yeah, this is about how to create space and assign that space to the scope roles and add users. So how to share views or tables across spaces. So yeah, thank you, and I will see you in the next session.